Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we are here today to learn how to rocket jump with the Titan. I'm going to be helping you guys understand the basic and core concepts that will allow you to rocket jump effectively and quickly, while also losing as little health as possible and having as much control as possible when playing the Titan. Now, I know a lot of people think that you can't really rocket jump to any effective manner on the PlayStation 4 with the controller, but there are definitely some strategies that you can use through blind fire and other means that will allow you to rocket jump and then combine bunny hopping to still increase your mobility on the PlayStation 4. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the guide, but we're going to start off by just breaking down some of the basics of doing it on the PC. Now, there are essentially two different methods in which people are going to attempt to use the rocket launcher, the Hammerhead, to actually rocket jump. One of the things that I hear a lot of people mention and always talk about is the fact that you can blind fire rocket jump. Now, that's not necessarily a bad strategy for getting up onto high ledges, but it doesn't really give you the same control, and it's not the means of rocket jumping that you're going to use to actually move quickly across the map. So again, if that works for you, and you can use that to get on the high ledges, that's fine. But when it comes to actually going fast and getting from point A to point B, you're going to want to use standard rocket jumping tactics. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually rocket jump our way out of the base, starting right here on this point, and try and make our way to the healing pods at center before we have a fake engagement with the enemy team at the blitz ball. So let's just make it happen, all right? Very low on HP, unfortunately. I probably should have gotten more health before we did that, but we made it. It wasn't the best. Rocket jumping wasn't fantastic, but you can get a general idea of what you can do with rocket jumping when you do flick shots. Obviously, having maximum health and then being able to maintain as much of that health as possible while you move into engagements is really important. And if you are going to rocket jump to move very quickly across the environment, it's necessary that you know where all the healing stations and healing pods are, so you can make them a part of your route to get effectively from point A to point B, heal up, reload, and then go ahead and engage your targets. So why don't we start on this side of the map this time, and we'll work our way as far as we possibly can. Now you notice we were getting a lot of height on those, but not a lot of forward momentum. Rocket jumping is all about timing your actual physical jumps. So if you want to go ahead and get more height to maybe clear an object, or maybe just to get the height advantage on the opponent, you're looking to get up on a ledge, you're going to want to rocket jump later after the jump. So just listen for my my spacebar press here, and then you can go ahead and, you know, see when I actually pull the trigger. So that's very delayed. That's going to get me a lot of height. It's also going to do a pretty decent amount of damage to me, since typically the rocket is very close to me, beneath me, since I want to go for that height factor. So if I'm trying to get distance, I'm instead going to want to flick away, find a point on the ground that is not actually directly below me. I want to get more of an angle so I can propel myself that way, and I want to jump at basically the exact same time that I go ahead and fire my rocket. So again, listen for the audio cue here. We're going to go ahead and RJ our way back to base. You can see it's building a lot more momentum that time. Making sure that those jumps are perfectly timed is going to allow us to get less height and more forward momentum. Now, in the case of leaving an area like a base, you could just walk out if you wanted to. Nothing wrong with that. I understand the concern for clipping the hallway. But if you get things down, you'll learn that you can just do a rocket jump without actually jumping and maintain enough low height to actually get a nice rocket jump. And there we go. I made it all the way across the map. We lost a lot of health. Obviously, we weren't at full HP to begin with. But, you know, we also covered a lot of distance. And there wasn't really too many reasons in which you'd want to go all the way like that unless you were really looking to run in and just break cap. There are plenty of situations where maybe you just want to get the shield down on something, or maybe your team already broke the shield and you just want to cap it so the shield resets. There's been plenty of situations in which I've been really aggressive with the Titan just to go ahead and reset that shield for my team so we can make a clutch push. So sometimes, yeah, as the Titan, you just want to go fast and you're not really concerned about your health bar and where it's at when you get there. But obviously, as I said, picking up those healing pods along the way, you know, even if you stop at a healing station, you're still going to get there rocket jumping faster than you would if you just did this, if you just walked. You know, I'm already there. I've been at the healing station. I've already healed. I'm rocket jumping my way to the enemy team's objective, you know, so on and so forth. So, something to keep in mind. Now, in terms of controlling your movement in the middle of a rocket jump, it's all just about using your WAS and D keys to strafe. Once you're airborne in this game, the way they've kind of built their physics engine allows you to really control where you go. So I can just kind of look and then hold the direction on my keys that I want to move. So if I want to move to the right, I'll just hold D and I'll move that way. You know, I can turn pretty much wherever I want, even out of 0G. You've got a lot of control, a lot of flexibility. So it's really just going to be about getting comfortable with it. Initially, I was going to show you guys my key bindings, but I think it's better that you get a feel for it and really just experiment with how W, A, S, and D can actually control and affect your movement in standard gravity once you rocket jump, and then use that to really control your links. So you can actually slow yourself down as well. That's something to know. Say we're getting a lot of momentum, we can just hold S and we can come to a complete stop. It's really useful. Maybe you decide that you're going really quickly into enemy territory, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you know what? I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna fire some rockets in, get some heals, do this, pop off my ult maybe, you know, and start to help my team in here. So it's really just a lot about building muscle memory. I can tell you the basic ideas of rocket jumping, but it's all about getting that feel for it down, knowing when to jump, when to pull the trigger, and of course being able to really get that control so you can make your way from one point to the next. And remembering that the most important thing in terms of building forward momentum will always be timing your jump. So you can rocket jump without jumping, but you'll notice that we don't really get the same sort of initial momentum. It's not a bad strategy. You can do it, but probably the biggest concern here is how much HP that we lose, and the fact that it takes a little bit longer to actually build as much momentum as we could get if we just jumped. So it's a combination of things. While you could just always rocket jump without jumping, you're really looking to preserve as much health as possible. And the better you get at rocket jumping, the better you get at timing and distancing yourself from the rocket with those flicks, the less damage you're going to take, less self-damage you're going to take, and the more you're going to be able to preserve your HP bar as you make your way into big fights. So that's one really important thing to note. Now, let's talk a little bit about rocket jumping with the controller. This is where blind fire rocket jumping comes in particularly effective. Not all of you are playing on a really high sensitivity on controller, and I don't blame you. You want your precision. Even if you are, the act of swinging a rocket around with a joystick and then returning is no easy feat, and most people probably aren't going to be able to do that. So you can instead use your blind fire off of walls to propel yourself forward in combination with bunny hopping. So bunny hopping is when you jump after gaining a large amount of momentum in order to maintain that momentum over a distance. So these walls right here actually can't be fired through. Every single base has you walk out of one of these holographic spawn walls. That means that we can walk out like this, jump, blind fire, and then continue to jump to maintain our momentum. And look how quick that is. Not bad at all. It may not be as fast or as brutal or as cool looking as regular rocket jumping, but it's still really quick, and I often wonder if it's just as fast as standard rocket jumping, because at the end of the day, you lose a lot less health. In fact, we're not even going to take too much of a hit off that, you know, 50, if that, and look, we're right here. I mean, bada boom, bada bing. It's a little bit harder to maintain momentum over a long distance, but who cares, because we'll just do it again. We'll do it off that. You know, we'll do it wherever you need to. You just position yourself, blind fire, and then blast off. So let's see if we can't link it together here. We lost a little bit of momentum. Let's see if we just try and get ourselves another rocket jump here, maybe. Look at that. There we go. So you're just stringing together these blind fire wall jumps, if you will. You're just blasting your way off the wall. It's as simple as that. Again, you're going to have to work on your bunny hopping and your timing and learning the control of it all, but that's how you do it if you're playing with PlayStation 4. You can rocket jump into bunny hops, and you will be the fastest Titan on PlayStation 4 if you get your head around that. So it's definitely something I recommend you work on. In fact, I feel like it's probably easier to time those jumps with a controller than it is with a space bar. So you guys might be able to pick it up really quickly, get those continuous jumps down. And the idea is to really keep bunny hopping as long as you possibly can. You want to bunny hop until you've lost all momentum. At that point, you can go ahead and, you know, look for another way to link yourself, maybe find another wall to bounce off of. And hell, when it comes to using a controller, if you're not looking to rapidly swip around, you know, to make that shot, you could just go ahead and do something like this as well. You can just go boop, and then slowly turn yourself around and go ahead and rotate in the right direction. It's all about experimentation, but don't think that because you're playing with a controller that you can't rocket jump effectively with a Titan. You absolutely can. It just takes practice, and it takes good map knowledge, and also really good control of bunny hopping. So at the end of the day, if you are somebody playing on the PlayStation 4 and you're looking to go fast with the Titan, you're going to learn two really useful things. Bunny hopping, which is effective for carrying momentum after a rocket jump, and also when coming out of 0G very quickly. And you're also going to learn the effectiveness of using that blind fire rocket to make yourself go fast. There you have it, guys. That's the basics of rocket jumping. You know, there's more advanced strategies like gaining extra height by doing rocket jumps off walls like that. Honestly, the big thing here is just consistent experimentation and practice. So if you noticed, I just jumped into a custom match. I went on Blitzball. I maxed out the timer, maxed out the Blitzball pickup. So if I pick it up and run around with it, I can have fun with it. And I'm just here. This is Mammoth, probably one of the best maps, I think, to practice it because we've got a really nice sort of flowy area for rocket jumping. And also there's some obstacles and there's some corners the way to the enemy team's spawn, or at least to where their cap would be, you know, with a nice set of rocket jumps. So let's see if we can't pull that off. Again, really trying to line ourselves up. We got to watch that block there. So we're going to try and make use of that height. And there we go, all the way to the other side. Nice, smooth, looking like a badass. Looking like some sort of a Titan ballet. It's all covered in chaos and destruction, but it's glorious and it's beautiful along the way. If you guys have any other questions or concerns, things that I really didn't speak on here that maybe are scratching away at the back of your head that are preventing you from fully understanding how rocket jumping works, feel free to hit me up down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to help get you on the right track to rocket jumping like a boss, but at the end of the day, it's a lot about practice. It's a lot about building that muscle memory, experimentation, get into them custom matches, get a feel for it all, and before you know, you'll be rocket jumping like it's second nature, like it's a one button to win thing, and you'll be wowing everybody on your friends list with your insane Titan rocket jump, showing up to the battle quicker than ever, smashing people's faces in, and then hopefully from there you can worry about actually sniping people out of midair and actually getting kills with rockets, because I actually think it's a little bit easier to go fast with a Titan than it is to actually get kills. So good luck with that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, remember to play smart, remember to play to challenge yourself, but most importantly, remember to play for fun.
Is charging the battery.
Gonna light you up.
Battery 75% charged. Double kill.